Hello, welcome to a short little demo video for Lost Freight. It's early February 2023. We've added a number of features in the last couple of weeks, so I'm recording a new video just to keep you guys up to date. So, what is Lost Freight first and foremost? Lost Freight is a platform for carriers to share their capacity. What does it mean to share capacity? You're already doing this, whether you realize it or not. It just takes the form of posting your truck on a load board, sending an email to a broker that you work with, alerting them to a truck list, right? Maybe you've got a truck in Chicago tomorrow, you want to send to Chicago. Maybe you've got a truck on Thursday in Denver, etc., right? Maybe you send that via text, or maybe you just call your brokers, right? These are all ways of sharing capacity, okay? And they're inefficient, and there's problems with them. And I know that because I was a broker for 5 years, or a carrier rep for 5 years at a large brokerage. I worked with thousands of carriers over those years, and specifically had really tight relationships with probably 10 or 15 carriers that I worked with for those years. And we, in hindsight, communicated just very inefficiently, right? And I, as a broker, needed to know where my carriers had trucks all the time because that's how I went and found them loads, right? How is a broker going to give you loads without knowing where you have trucks and without having confidence that it's up to date, right? Because an issue, kind of like I alluded to with truck lists specifically, is that they go stale quickly. You could send me that truck list and in 5 minutes it could be out of date, and maybe you never send it again, so I never know, and I spend an hour looking for loads for all your trucks and they're all already booked, right? Example of it being inefficient. So here at Lost Freight, we created a platform that's first and foremost for carriers to share this information. It's not a load board. There's no brokers posting loads here. This is 100% focused on you sharing your capacity with the people you want to share it to in the way you want to share it with them. So we've got two ways for you to share your capacity right now. We've got a public profile, which I'll show you here, um, and we've got an email tool. So let's start with the profile. So imagine you've created your profile, you've got all your equipment in here, you've got your contact information in here, and you've loaded it up saying where you have trucks and where you want to send them, and you send a list, you send a link to all your brokers that you work with, and you say to them, hey, if you want to know where I have trucks, if you want to know where I have cap, come to my Lost Freight profile, bookmark this link, and this is going to stay up to date in real time. You can keep this page open all day, and you're always going to know where I have capacity. So let me show you here real quick. So you'll notice that this is refreshing and changing it's updating the capacity without me having to refresh the page, okay? So this happens in real time. So you can tell your brokers to sit on this page all day and they're gonna know where you have trucks as long as you keep your list updated, which is simple as can be. You can use your phone, you can use your computer, you can invite, if you have dispatchers, if you have multiple dispatchers, you can invite them all to create a profile, or excuse me, to create a user account and to manage your profile. So they'll be able to make their own login and come in here and manipulate the list like you're seeing me doing right here. So this is on the other end of, of what you just saw, right? This is me on the desktop, and I can't have anywhere for an origin, obviously. But you'll see here, so I can be like, okay, I booked this truck from Portland to Texarkana, Portland, Colorado. I'm gonna have them in Texarkana on the 22nd, like you can see here, and maybe I want to send them to Miami. Okay, so that's up to date there. That all change took place in real time on the profile, like you saw. So all the brokers that you've sent the link to will have your latest truck list right there. Okay, so I've already went over. You can invite your team. You can build out your profile. They can manage it. Um, how do you share your capacity? Way number two from Lost Freight. Send out an email, okay? So let's say, for example, you like to send out emails in the morning to alert all your brokers where you have trucks, or maybe you have specific ones that you want to draw their attention to your trucks before other people. You can do that using Lost Freight. So we've got a little email tool here where you can essentially build out an email list. So you can keep adding emails to this and they'll save. So if you'll see if I X out and come back in, they're still there. And you can decide who you want to send them to. So for example, I have this email in from before. Maybe I don't want to send it to these guys. I only want to send it to this guy in the morning because they're like my preferred partner. So I'm going to send a list. It's going to take a snapshot of my current available trucks right here, and it's going to make it nice, clean, and easy display it in this email. Here you go. So your broker is going to get in, they're going to see this. It's going to kind of draw you to the front of their mind, and they're going to be able to go to your profile and be just kind of reminded and just nudged to come back and offer you loads. And so this is way number two. You can control this, like I said, 100%, because that's the theme of Lost Freight. It's all about giving carriers control over sharing who they share their capacity with, what ways they do it, and yeah, total control of the carriers. So we've got some other ways planned in the future that will reveal as time goes on and as they kind of take shape. But for now, we've got a public profile you can share with your brokers. We've got an email list you can send out with your brokers. You can do this at as many times as you want. You'll notice we've got kind of this timestamp that shows the last time you sent it to them. So I just sent another one. You can manage this 100% from your phone, from your computer. It's all in the browser. Um, Really, really, really simple at the end of the day. And all of this is to make your life easier, keeping your list up to date easier. And that's just really all comes down to making you easier to work with too at the end of the day. This is going to make your brokers' lives easier too, because they're gonna be able to see where you have trucks all the time, and they're not gonna have to ask you for an updated list anymore. And I know that all this is really, really meaningful to brokers because it makes you easier to work with. They're gonna want to work with you more. And I know that because the carriers who I worked with, who were easy to work with, were the ones I always called back whenever I saw a load for a truck on their list, right? So this is all about you being easy to work with and excuse me, um, having total control for a carrier. So appreciate you sticking with me. If you have questions, my name is Reed. My email is reed@lostfreight.com. Let me know anything. Happy to hop on the phone as well. Have a good one.